What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ross back at again with another video. So I'm going to check out why John Cena will lose at WWE Wrestlemania 41. Now, this is a very interesting theory from Wrestlemania. I know a lot of people are making the assumption that John Cena's turned heel for the first time in over 15, 20 years. It only makes sense for him to win at WrestleMania since he's now a bad guy, right? Well, there's still that possibility that it doesn't happen. We're going to see what Wrestlemania think may be the situation of why he may not actually win at this year's WrestleMania. Let's get into it. Appreciate all love, support. Let's go. Let's do the damn thing.
WrestleMania 41 is just around the corner. Without a doubt, the biggest match on the show is the highly anticipated Cody Rhodes versus John Cena match for the WWE title.
Yep.
The match is set to headline night 2 of the show, and all eyes are on the match, especially after Cena's shocking heel turn at 2025 Elimination Chamber. But with now fans split on whether or not Cena will walk out of WrestleMania 41 as WWE Champion, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that Cena will ultimately fail on the grand stage, and WrestleMania 41 will close out with the American Nightmare standing tall. But why? Here's why John Cena will lose at WrestleMania 41. All right,
this is a very interesting prediction here.
Wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. The heel turn. A lot of the discourse surrounding the heel turn has focused on whether or not the turn was a long-term plan. Some reports indicated that the plan initially was for Cena to turn heel at WrestleMania 41, yet WWE decided to pivot and go with the turn at Elimination Chamber. Whatever the case, the build to Rhodes vs Cena has felt extremely flat, and this is mainly due to Cena's poor justification for turning heel. Cena is claiming that the fans have always hated him and that this was his revenge, but in reality, it's been a long time since Cena was heavily booed by the audience. In actuality, the past few years have seen pro-Cena crowds, with all demographics heavily cheering for the former WWE champion. Was this just lazy writing? Were WWE struggling to find a justifiable reason for Cena's heel turn?
That's an interesting
Cena would
point.
also claim that he's going to ruin wrestling by winning the WWE title at WrestleMania 41, and the idea of this on paper sounds groundbreaking, but it does paint the idea that Cena won't win at WrestleMania. A wrestler with the goal of ruining the business, closing out WrestleMania as champion, would be an interesting move for WWE to make, especially having that chosen wrestler defeat the current face of the company.
Yeah.
But another key factor in all of this is The Rock.
Yes.
The Rock was heavily involved in the Cena turn, yet he has yet to appear on TV since.
And that is still the issue. Because if you really want to look at it, John Cena just could have turned heel without The Rock. The Rock didn't need to be there. We didn't need this story of, will you sell your soul to me, Cody? None of that really made sense if it was just going to be John Cena selling his soul. But we still hadn't really got no indication of how this has benefit John Cena by aligning himself with The Rock, because The Rock hasn't been there. Now, we still have 2 more weeks left. Maybe The Rock shows up, but we still don't really know what was the point of having The Rock involved in this if he's not even really mentioned. John could have just turned heel on his own, because everything he said on why he's turned heel has been on his own volition, on his own accord. Has nothing to do with The Rock.
Since the chamber, The Rock was also completely retconned from the initial turn, and it was only until Raw from London that he was even mentioned. It's a little confusing as a viewer, and it could certainly be argued that The Rock wasn't even needed for the heel turn to go down.
Yes.
Now, there is still time for The Rock to appear on screen, and it will be interesting to see what he could possibly add to the story arc. Now, if the final boss does appear, he needs to address the relationship between him and Cena. What does selling your soul actually mean?
Yes.
How far in advance were he and Cena in cahoots? These questions and their answers will help round out the entire storyline, and in turn make the entire arc complete as we roll into WrestleMania. But the Raw from London show managed to build a feud in a much more impactful manner, with Cena and Rhodes having a back and forth mentioning taboo topics, including the downfall of WWE's popularity in the 2000s, Vince McMahon, and even Tony Khan.
Yeah.
But even though Rhodes stood tall during the exchange, based on some of the comments that Cena was making, it would be somewhat backwards booking for Rhodes to now lose the matchup. The acclaimed promo segment from London acted as the prior face of the company versus the current face of WWE, and it was very much presented.
And that could have even been a better story. I mean, they've kind of weaved it in, is mainly basically to take away from the fans, but that can even be a greater story to tell, that John honestly is just jealous that the guy that was chauffeuring him around is now the guy. He is getting the adulation that he once wanted to get, even though technically John Cena's been getting love these past few years. He just can't win a match. So they could have went that route too. Like, and they've been kind of alluding to it that he's really just low key kind of jealous of Cody. But I was hoping that would be a really big point. That's another reason why he despises him. And we kind of heard a part of that in this last promo battle that they had. He despises the fact that someone like him is what they love now. So now it's mediocre. I love that.
As a new era within the segment itself, with Rhodes addressing how the crowd picked him as a face in WWE, whereas Cena was simply awarded the prestigious title by WWE management in 2005. Some fans have theorized that the WWE will take the Rock vs Cena approach from WrestleMania 28 by having the prior face of the company win before the present face wins the rematch. Whilst this is a possible approach, Cena isn't wrestling into 2026.
Yeah.
So unless the rematch goes down at SummerSlam or another significant event, then this seems to be off the table.
Yeah.
Rhodes vs Cena at WrestleMania will be a one-time deal.
Yeah, I think it's going to be on one. I mean, he has so many opponents that he could fight. I think it's going to be a one and done only because of his schedule. He's not going to be featured every fucking week. So if he was to win and win the championship, there's other people that it would be interesting to see to face. So I don't know. I could see it being a one and done situation, and maybe he loses the title to maybe CM Punk, and then maybe Cody has to face CM Punk later down the line. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here, but I don't see them setting up another match. I would be surprised if they did, but it seems like this is going to be a one and done situation.
The major giveaway. A SmackDown from London's O2 Arena saw Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton embark in an incredibly wholesome segment. Anytime the former Legacy stablemates share the screen, there's palpable chemistry, and their real-life friendship is always apparent.
Yeah.
In the segment, Orton would put Rhodes over as the face of WWE before shifting gears and saying that he was coming for the WWE title following WrestleMania 41. This segment would have worked extremely well. That's if it didn't take place weeks before WrestleMania. WWE are already moving forward with the idea of Cena losing at WrestleMania, and they're already planting the seeds for the rest of 2025. This segment would then be taken to the next level when the dastardly Drew McIntyre would interrupt.
Because you have stories there. You can go. People are waiting for this Randy and Cody situation. You can also go Drew and Cody, because I think that needs to happen. Drew has a victory over Cody. He's one of the handful people that has a victory over Cody, and I think he deserves a WWE title opportunity. They can tell a good story there. So that's the thing. They still have some other matches they could put on outside. If Cody does win, they have other matches and feuds that they can still put on with Cody. So
surprisingly, McIntyre would also state that he's coming for the WWE title, and it appears that the WWE's two big programs set for the rest of 2025 are now Orton vs Rhodes and McIntyre vs Rhodes. The former of the two were once rumored to be the direction WWE were going for WrestleMania 41, but obviously that never occurred. Whilst the segment itself was expertly delivered, the criticism fans are offering the segment has a ton of validity. WWE basically told the audience that Cena wasn't winning at WrestleMania, as it would make zero sense to build two new programs if they weren't going to deliver them following Mania. Additionally, the segment highlighted the main issue with the WrestleMania build. Cena needs to be present on television whenever Rhodes is on screen. Rhodes is a marvel of a pro wrestler, and in the sense, he's been established as this guy that can build WrestleMania events by himself, but the reality is, he shouldn't have to. These are the most important shows of 2025, and Cena needed to be on as many as possible.
Yeah.
The inevitable. And there's no way that arguably WWE's biggest babyface of all time retires as a heel, right?
Yeah.
Whilst it's going to take solid writing and compelling delivery, a babyface turn does seem like a certainty before 2025.
It's definitely happening, bro.
Cena riding off into the sunset as a heel and being booed doesn't seem appropriate.
It's not going to happen.
How exactly do WWE handle this? Does Cena realize the error of his ways and realize that the fans have always loved him, and the fans that previously hated him come to love him thanks to his work ethic? This could be a solid way to take the story. The likely direction is that the WWE and Cena explained that he was poisoned by The Rock and the final boss got in his head.
Yeah.
Once babyfaces such as Rhodes and Orton made Cena realize the error of his ways, Cena knew that it was all The Rock's fault, and Cena turning on The Rock would receive a thunderous pop.
Yeah. If he loses, that would be the way to do it. Say he loses. Say The Rock tries everything. He's not able to. John Cena has the moment. He can do it. He has the moment in his hand. The Rock's like, do it. But he doesn't. He doesn't do it. He doesn't attack Cody because he knows it's not right. He knows it doesn't make sense. The Rock gets pissed. He finally hits the rock bottom. I mean, not the rock bottom. The attitude adjustment on The Rock. Obviously, maybe Cody capitalizes, hits the crossroads a couple of times. 1, 2, 3. That would be some people will be like, well, this was a waste of a turn. I think it, in a sense, yes and no, because the turn needed to happen only to build this matchup, because a babyface John Cena versus a babyface Cody, it's not going to work. You needed the turn to happen to kind of switch things up. The only thing was The Rock kind of convoluted things. So that would be his only way to get back on the right path. Be like, I was corrupted by The Rock. And then you can have The Rock say, fuck it, and just try to take everything over for himself. Whatever you want to do, if that's the route they go. But he's most likely not going to be a heel the entire retirement run. It's not happening.
Fans would just eat it up. So if Cena loses at WrestleMania 41, does he still win world title number 17?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cena winning the world title as a babyface following a complete character arc would be incredibly satisfying. Cena could even win the world title in his final match, and Cena saying goodbye whilst at the top of the world would be a fitting end to the career of a certified legend. The idea of Cena retiring as world champion would also act as a soft reset for WWE.
Yeah.
They could then build a storyline around a new world champion, and with Cena's last scheduled date set for December 2025, they could even have the 2026 Royal Rumble for the vacant world title.
And that would be perfect, because guess what? Guess what? People are going to want to check that out. Have the world title. I like what he did there. Have John Cena win it, then vacate it. Because he's done. He's going to hang it up. He won it. Cool. Vacate it. Retired. Put the title up. Whoever wins this Royal Rumble becomes the new WWE Undisputed Champion. Now the Royal Rumble even has more importance. Because you win it, you become champion.
This could work extremely well, especially with the 2026 Rumble being in Saudi and there being rumors of WWE taking...
I did forget it's going to be in Saudi. Damn it. Oh, man. Yeah, that probably sounds about right, damn it.
A different approach with the event. The question is, who is a world champion by the time Cena wins the title? Logically, Cena should win it from a top heel. Does Gunther get the world title back and WWE delivers Cena versus Gunther in December? This is also a great option, as it may sound hyperbolic, but there's perhaps nobody on the roster in 2025 that could give Cena a better match than Gunther. This was also a rumored match for WrestleMania 41, and some fans believe that this was the plan for the show. That was until WWE decided to go with Cena as a heel and have Jey Uso win the 2025 Rumble. But could WWE pivot? Whatever WWE have planned, it seems unlikely at this stage that WWE's former franchise guy will walk out of WrestleMania 41 as WWE Champion. Naturally, due to WWE having no reservations regarding pivots when it comes to their booking, they could easily change their mind over the next few weeks. Cena walking out of Night 2 as champion would be newsworthy, but where did the WWE even go after that? Does Rhodes chase Cena to get the title back? We know that Cena is working Backlash 2025, but we don't know about any subsequent premium live events. If Cena wins, he needs to appear a lot more on television.
Yeah, he would have to.
Arc and the win would be completely pointless. WWE don't want to go back into the state of play where Rhodes is the face of the company without a WWE title around his waist. Ultimately, all signs indicate that Cena is adding another loss to his win-loss record at WrestleMania 41, and as things stand, this is probably the most sensible call WWE could possibly make. What do you guys think?
This is a tough one, because you can go either way. But, and I said this before he turned heel, John Cena, I felt like he wasn't going to win at WrestleMania. When he turned heel, things started to change. I was like, well, they probably will do this. I just wasn't sure how much of The Rock's involvement. I think it really depends on that. If The Rock is involved in this match, I can see John Cena winning. It gives Cody an out. The odds were stacked against him. He doesn't have, outside of maybe Randy Orton maybe coming out there to help, possibly. I don't know if they're going to do something with that and allude to that. But if they don't, it's just Cody by himself. He's most likely going to lose, right? Cool. I don't see The Rock getting duped twice in back-to-back years. But if The Rock's really not involved, yeah, I can see him losing. Yeah, I can actually see John Cena losing. If The Rock's not involved in this, and it's just a one-on-one, even with John Cena being a heel, I can see him losing. So it kind of depends on what The Rock's gonna do. That's just how I'm looking at it. Either way, I'm not tripping. You know what I'm saying? If John Cena wins, that's cool. I just hope he's there for more dates because, I mean, let's keep it a buck, bro. If he's going to be champion, it would make sense for him to win. And that way we can get more on-screen television with him as champion. I hope that's the case, but we may not get that. So we will see. But hey, comment down below. Let me know. Do y'all feel that John Cena will walk out of WrestleMania this year as the champion? Or do y'all think Cody Rhodes will retain? Give your reasons why or why not down below. But I appreciate all love, support. Road to 150K. Appreciate y'all kicking with me. See you on the next one. Peace.